I'm most sad about missing the storms on Undercurrent, but we'll do my best. Speaking of, as we load into Undercurrent for the second time tonight, let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have our red team. We have our duo from the Netherlands, from Croatia, representing Platinum Heroes. We have Goblin, and alongside him we have El Manchego. We have uThermal. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue team representing Hassel. Oh my, it's been a while. Hassel players. We have our blue team. We have our Protoss and Terran duo. It is going to be Tiger and Replicant. There we go. I removed the visual just because the visual doesn't actually say the player names. So we'll just have the fanfare. We'll just have the fanfare instead. So we can enjoy Undercurrent for the second time. Here we go. Also, I just did realize that we have a Protoss duo in uThermal and Goblin. I believe uThermal is playing random, so he is enjoying some off racing here. I am less convinced by his off race. Like, obviously his main race is very strong. I'm referring to his Terran. When going up against pro players though, or big GMs in Europe, I'm concerned. I'm a little bit concerned here for uThermal. We'll see. We'll see how they do open up. I feel like typically in 2v2, when we have Protoss duos, we have one player opening up Stargate, the other Blink Stalker, just to stay out of each other's hair. We'll see if that's the case here as well. We shall see. As we have Tiger looking to expand, going gate expanded to Cybercore. More economic starts. Likewise, we have an economic opener out of Replicant as well, going racks into CC on the high ground. So economic openers from our blue team. Meanwhile, the red team across the map. Ooh, we do have something a little bit more aggressive here by uThermal. Goblin expands. Oh, sorry, uThermal expands. Goblin has yet to do so. Sorry, I just assume these gateways belong to the same person. It's gonna they're both red, Pappy. They're both red. Aye. Yeah, Goblin going for earlier attack, going to be a Stargate opener out of Goblin before expanding. And, ooh, Tiger going for his own proxy gateway.
Glory to the Daylong.
Go to a proxy across the map, just so we can reinforce. Also, the non-stop, like, primal sounds. The dinosaurs. Let's go. Feels like I'm playing, like, Jurassic Park Evolution or something. The gateway's building up, and if you notice, it's mainly here. Like it's very centralized in this area. The dinosaur sounds, I mean, and I guess here as well. For now, though, we do have Replicant building up towards his drop play. 1-1-1. Medevac is on the way to move out across the map. We'll see what he can get done. Likewise, we have Tiger getting up his own gateways, looking to reinforce and be aggressive. Stalkers are in position. With the initial Stargate opener, it is going to be Oracle into Void Ray. Very safe play here by Goblin. Oracle setting up the stasis before moving out across the map. They set up. Here comes the initial push. Tiger moving in. He's on 3 gates. And he has free reign of the natural here. The pylon is under fire. Ooh, does bait at the stasis. Did notice. Oracle moving out towards the main base here of Replicant. And SCVs are going to be going down. SCVs are falling. Hellions going for the dive, rushing up the ramp. Can they get in? Oh, they cannot. Clutch wall here from Goblin. Does fully wall off, but drop into the main base as well. They're committing. They do get the sentry. As sentry goes down, uThermal struggling to keep up here. He's down in Stalkers, down in gateways. Border will help support, but the Bio Army does bust into the main. So far, it looks like the red team, they do defend the natural. Probes are going down. Hellions once again get denied. And these shield batteries are putting in a lot of work. Goblin very well set up. But the natural, though. The natural is still under threat. Thermal cleans up the drop, shuts it down. But that's going to be a kill here. Yeah, there's no saving this. The Oracle's been putting a little work. 8 probe kills, up to 9, up to 10. 10 workers going down, which is good. But killing the expansion, that's going to be better here. As Blink is now done, uThermal dives in. Can he get the base? What a mess! Barely gets it. Whew. Nexus does fall. uThermal does take map control though, and it's time to counterattack. It's time to move out. uThermal has got 10 stalkers. Is going to try to push. Back at home, bunkers are on the way. It's all about defending, all about surviving. Replicant getting his own tank. Banshee as well. Sieging up on the high ground. And he does siege in time. uThermal goes to the tide. Jeez. Takes out the tank. Tank goes out, but at a price. For a price of what? 2, 3 stalkers. Oh my god. As the blue team holds. Oracle with 11 kills. Still getting damage done. uThermal rotates. Loading that third. Diving into the main, actually. Yo, shout to the stasis trap. Does give high ground vision. And with that, we'll take down another tank. But it might just be a one-way trip here. Stasis going up. Tiger is keeping up. Does wink down to low ground. The boys are being pulled. uThermal will overwhelm. And uThermal doing well here. Gets a tank. It takes down probes. 4, 5, 6 workers going down. Likewise, Replicant though across the map. The shield batteries, I mean, they do maintain the economy. Banshee gets 0 kills. And nice defense. Whew, nice defense by Goblin. He's still trying to recover though. He's still just now getting his natural up and running. Goblin is in a rough position. And now Mark is going to have to feed him. He's going to have to give him some resources here. Still gearing up outside the bases. I do still give the edge to Replicant and Tiger. Dark Shrine on the way, taking up into charge. Meanwhile, Replicant going into Bio Tank. Replicant, he does play a lot of mech, at least in 1v1, but do appreciate that he's embracing Bio here in 2v2. Gee, that one Oracle is still popping up. Time and time again. It just keeps going. And Prism's being set up as well. Goblin taking his third. uThermal going for the gold. And what I find most interesting is that both players are going for their own ground-based compositions in similar directions. With Stalker charge from the side of uThermal. Goblin still just now getting to his own charge and +1. Again, just everything's just so delayed for Goblin. As he was being bullied earlier. So Goblin just now starting a blink. Warping into the main, not bad. Charge will stay distract the main army. They force Replicant back into his own main. At the same time, uThermal getting ready. Does hit Tiger, but Tiger's in position. And Tiger's ready. Tiger, he is ready. But what's important here is that because of all this aggression, whether it's from the War Prism harass, whether it's with uThermal poking in towards the natural base or the third, they're able to establish their bases. They're able to take the gold base, a 4th base on the way for uThermal. Goblin finally getting a 3rd as well. Like, they are recovering economically. But they still need their opponents to back up. They're not there yet. Replicant dust him in. He has his bio. Scans at time, shuts down the stasis. As Zealots are falling one after the other. Yeah, Storm is not yet done. And the base is going to be broken. Yeah, uThermal and Goblin, they just barely weren't ready in time. Storm is seconds away. And without it, they can't fight. Without Storm, they cannot engage. As the blue team is rotating. They spot the stasis. DT's waddling in. Cannon is done, but it's on its own. No shield battery. Storm gets revealed. And there's still at least 3 storms left. Storms, they mainly zone. They connect with the Stalkers. Stalkers, they just stand in the storms. They don't care. They just take the storms to the face. At the same time, uThermal going for a massive counterattack. With their Dark Templar. There's DTs to defend. The base goes down once again. Goblin, he just wants to mine. Goblin just wants to expand. The third base goes down. Natural goes down. Goblin once again stuck on a 1-base economy. On half a base economy. uThermal commits across the map. Breaks through the defenses. Gets into the mineral line. uThermal doing whatever he can, but there's only so much he can do on his own. And the blue army, they're not done. They just keep pushing. They break into the natural of uThermal. Disruptors have arrived. Oh. Raising the army. Still being zoned away. And they're just being pulled apart. They're just being torn apart here. DTs in the pocket base. Replicant rotates over towards the would-be 4th. Stalkers are cleaned up, and yeah, Replicant and Tiger, they're popping up. They're pulling the red team apart. As the final mining base, it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall at this point. It's not just this, the pocket base as well. The DTs. There's no detection. The Observer just now racing back home after the death of the Nexus. And the Ninja base gets found. uThermal trying to save those probes. But there's no escaping this. There's no escaping the play. They just stim and they win. They clean up all the workers. uThermal stuck on on half a base economy. So is Goblin. Goblin's used to it though. Like he's been here almost all game. It's like, I just want a natural. That's all I ever wanted. Not this game, Pappy. Not this game. I've definitely been in this kind of like team game scenario before, where one player gets targeted, and it's not a fun experience. No. As we have our final fight, we have some decent Novas, Storms as well. Goblin and uThermal trading as best they can, but this is all they have. Like, there's no economy, so there's no sustain, there's no reinforcements. The Novas have potential, but GG gets called. They tap out, and Tiger and Replicant take game number 1. GG. They take game 1. They take a lead in the series. And again, uThermal and Goblin just had a really rough start to the game. From the get-go, the natural base of Goblin was under fire. It got shut down. The Oracle did get 11 SCV kills, or 11 worker kills across the map, but it paled in comparison to just losing an entire base. And the entire game, it did feel like Goblin was just out of it, in the sense that he struggled to sustain his natural, struggled to even get a third base up and running. If you remember, he didn't finish Charge and Blink until, what, 3/4 of the way through the game as well? Like Goblin, he was just playing from behind the entire game. And uThermal, he was doing what he could to maintain themselves, and he was doing a great job harassing with his Stalkers and counterattacking, but there's only so much he could do on his own. Only so much he could do with that. GG. GG, well played. Whew, this leads us into game number 2, loading into a map for the first time here tonight, loading into Breakwater. Oh boy. Loading into Breakwater, LE. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Still playing random, by the way. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here of Breakwater, we have our red duo. We have our Croatian Protoss player in Goblin, alongside his teammate, alongside El Manchego. It is uThermal. The duo of uThermal and Goblin. In the top right-hand corner, we have the opposing duo here. We have our Protoss, we have our Terran. We have our team of Tiger and Replicant. We go. Again, having a very aggressive start to the previous game. As a reminder, it was 3-gate. It was 3-gate aggression from Tiger with a proxy third gateway. to reinforce across the map with alongside a Hellion dive as well from his teammate. And we'll see if the aggression continues. Meanwhile, I'm very unfamiliar with this map. This looks like one of the newer maps of the map pool. There is a there's a shared main base, likewise a shared natural. Somewhat, actually. The natural is almost cut in two. There are two different attack paths. There's a ramp on the right-hand side, a narrow ramp, might I add, and a larger entrance here towards the left-hand side as well. So it looks like you can try to rotate between the bases and try to apply pressure in multiple locations at once. So this looks like a little bit of a more difficult map to defend on two bases on compared to what we saw previously. Bit of a more difficult map. Likewise, the third bases are exposed. They're down on the low ground. Very wide open locations, wide open areas. Does seem like a little bit less of a macro map, at least compared to Rascallion or some of these other bigger shared maps. Undercurrent as well. We'll see, as it does seem like the rush distance by ground is longer on Breakwater, so that does help make up for that. Let's see. So yeah, getting to our openers. Hatch gas pool out of uThermal. Alright, I kind of glossed over that, but uThermal, he has been rocking random. Last game we saw Protoss. This game we have Zerg out of uThermal. And I'm curious to see how he does play this out. I'm curious. He's going to go into a Roach heavy composition, into Ling. In general, Zerg have a bit of a harder time in 2v2, but we'll see if he can make up for that. As the Reaper is going to be shut down. Tiger going for a proxy Stargate across the map. Let's go. Going into most likely proxy Oracle. Meanwhile, they do see the tech here of their opponents. Goblin going for the Stargate of his own. Back at home. And they have taken note. As Goblin, he's played Stargate almost every game. Almost every game. Oracle's on the way for both players. And again, Tiger, he will hit first. He will strike first. And, yo, we're gonna bully Goblin again. I mean, it's not Goblin's fault that he spawns in next to, you know, the proxy, next to this kind of more exposed location. I feel bad for Goblin. Meanwhile, plus on melee in the way, so it looks like Mark, he's going into Ling Hydra. uThermal. Embracing more of a mid-game composition. Assuming he gets a lair faster. Lings, they dip in, they get a full scout. There's going to be a 1-1-1 setup here for Marterin. And the Oracle has arrived. Does dive in, gets 2 probes so far. Gets 2, 3, 4, no mining in the main base for Goblin. 4 probes go down, and likewise no mining at the natural either. Pulling back to the safety of the Queens and the Spores. Ooh, and that will shut down the Oracle. Not bad. Oracle does fall. Goblin gets deflected. 0 kills across the map with his own. That's going to be 6 probe kills. Aye, aye, aye. And he's not done. The second Oracle dives in as well. Yeah. And again, he just wants to mine, Pap. He just wants to mine. This Goblin, his main base is denied for a second time. Getting another 5 kills. uThermal going for his own Ling counterattack. Back at home, there is almost a full wall, but not quite ready in time. Lings, they look for a surround. Last has plenty to defend. Links are deflected. Oracle dips in. Picks up an Adept. Limited anti-air. Goblin is getting damage done. Let's go. Picks up a couple of key units. Jeez, the Oracle Harass just continues. Does continue. Goblin losing 16 probes in total. Oh my god, an entire mineral line. Mineral line goes down to the Oracle Harass. Aye, aye, aye. uThermal, he's left a little bit more untouched here. Getting into a 3-base economy. Liberator has arrived, though. Catching out probes. Or drones, even. It's 1 worker so far. Repositioning. We have BC on the way for Replicant. He's crazy. Rushing into BCs. And it's not BC Mech, it's BC into Bio. Links are deflected. Liberator catching more drones. Liberator's finally going to go down. The last Tiger is still not done, still has those 2 oracles. And I don't see a Spore, not quite in position. Yeah, it was repositioned because the Liberator. 1 oracle goes down. Oh, not successful of an attack here as the oracles are cleaned up. Finally. Oracles do fall. Our red team, they have gained map control. Now, I assumed it was going to be Ling into Hydra, but we do have an Infestation Bit on the way. Lair is done, but there is no Hydra Den. Interesting. uThermal, he might just be going pure Ling into Ultra. Should be crazy. That might be the plan. The downside here is that no scouting so far, and do we have our first BC? We do. BC teleports here into the natural uThermal. Does target down the drones. Only 2 so far, nothing major. Stalker zone away. Proxy finally gets found. As uThermal, he responds, making a beeline for the proxy. And the BC hasn't been too effective so far. Again, just 2 kills. 2 drone kills. I mean, it's forcing a big reaction with all these spore crawlers, true. We have extra spores on the way, so that is inverted damage. Ooh, as we do find a mineral line. No queens in position. Oh, no. Initially, this wasn't really getting too much, but now it's getting out of hand. Getting 10 drone kills, 11 drone kills. And will escape. Thermal going for a Link Blood. Gets shut down by the stasis. And here comes the Protoss. Here comes Tiger. And alas, the armies are out of position. Stalkers, they do try to rotate. Mineral lines under fire. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 1v2. Replicant, he's not here to support. He's not here to help support. There's the recall. Zelts get thrown away. And now here comes Replicant. So a little bit mistimed when it comes to the assaults, but it's fine. It's fine. As Tiger does plummet in supply. So again, the assault not too synced up. At least Tiger did preserve most of his high-tech units. DT into the main. SCVs are going down. Not bad. This one DT has 6 kills. 6 kills on the Dark Templar. Oh no, the skin! He overshoots. Does miss the DT. Okay. I see Goblin diving in. Oh my god, blinks into tank fire though. He gets caught out. Also, I was curious if uThermal is going into Ling Hydra, Ling Ultra if you recall, and it is going to be Ling Ultra, but there are a couple of Swarm Hosts on the way as well. Interesting. Are these 3 token Swarm Hosts? Is that what that is? I think so. I don't think that's intentional. You want another massive Ling Flood? Ling run by into the natural. SCV is going to be going down. Not bad. But last Replicant doesn't care. He commits. Workers are falling. BC back at home to defend. And the blue team is committing. And we're just committing to the push. Thermal is exposed. Stalkers, they catch reinforcements. Very nice movement here out of Goblin. Takes down the Immortal. The tanks are moving in. Yo, we got the 3 Swarm Hosts. Let's go. As they're being shut down. They'll say dive on the tanks. They get 1, they get 2. 2 tanks going down. But, I mean, there's just barely anything standing here for the red team. And Tiger and Replica, they do break through. They shut down the Ultra. No upgrades. As the Ultra does fall. Mass Overlord's falling as well. And both uThermal and Goblin just up against the wall. uThermal doesn't really have a standing army. He's got 3 Swarm Hosts. That's all he has. There's an Ultra in production. A couple links are trickling in. Well, they have been broken. And again, just a really strong start here from Tiger and Replicants. Like the non-stop economic harass. whether it was with the BCs or with the Oracles. Did so much damage. Oh, the Immortals they caught off guard. Not bad. Once again, nice movement here by Goblin. Takes down the Immortals, takes down the Archon. Dragging the army away. Meanwhile, that one DT is still, but that's still the same DT, by the way. No shot. He's still popping up. The one Dark Templar. And Replicant just commits. Mark, he's out of this game. uThermal, he just doesn't really have much left over. Takes down 2 medevacs. But alas, Replicant, his army is still looking terrifying. That one DT. It's got 29 kills. The one hero Dark Templar. Zeratul, let's go. He's doing what he can, but there's only so much he can do. But the one hero Dark Templar. As last Goblin, and Goblin, he's lost every base. He's lost every expansion, down to 1 base economy. If that's half a base economy, really. Thermal here has a hatchery, but no saturation, no droning. And it's mainly Goblin just trying to make a stand. And he's had some very nice moves here, but alas, that's a kill on the expansion. Lings at the mineral line. Tiger's at home to defend. And the last mining base here of uThermal's getting found out. Oh, he found it. Shut it down. Now they're both stuck in their mains. So we have a couple of infestors as well. The infestors have arrived. We're ready for the fungals. Gibbs, Rappy, Gibbs. I mean, unironically, they can pop up. Speaking of, they'll say charge in. Fungal the Immortals. Goblin. With the help of these infestors, there's still just so many Marines though. There's so much bio. uThermal sims in. Takes a massive fungal to the face. Replicant, I mean. Does take the fungal, but he can just tank it. He's fine. Tanks the fungal, stims in. And this is going to be the final stand of Goblin and uThermal. They did well for themselves here in January, but here in February, they're struggling in the early rounds. Went to the ace match in the round 32. Here in the round of 16, GG gets called. Goblin taps out. So does uThermal, and Tiger and Replicant. They will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to both Tiger and Replicant. Again, I do recall at the time that both uThermal and Goblin were playing this out, I remember uThermal being very apologetic to Goblin, just because, of course, uThermal, he was playing random, and was not really able to roll his main race, and as a result, they did struggle a little bit more. Likewise, no, Goblin was a little bit frustrated, just because, I mean, both in Game 1 and in Game 2 here in the series, Goblin was being targeted, both early on in the early game, losing a lot of workers, losing a lot of his economy. So Goblin, he was kind of being hindered really early on, and yeah, with that, GG, well played. Replicant and Tiger, they will break through, and they take down, I would say, one of the favorites here. uThermal and Goblin, they play a lot of 2v2s together. They play a lot of 2v2s. They put a lot of work and effort here into it, and they're knocked out early on. GG, well played. And with that, that leads us into the quarterfinals. That leads us into our quarterfinals match. We're going to be following Replicant and Tiger into their best of 3 against the duo of Serral and Zhuge. Let's go. Oh my god, the Finnish team. I remember that Serral, he was being asked if he was going to be competing in this event, as Serral did not compete in January, but is competing here in February. alongside his countrymen, alongside Zhugelang as the double Zerg team. Let's go. A rare sight. Very rare sight. I'm ready for it.